Mr. Divakar, one of the key principles of the 2030 Agenda and the SDGs is to leave no one behind. And this is a basic condition to promote large-scale change needed for the protection and sustainable management of terrestrial ecosystems and achieve SDG 15. From your experience, what are the risks that we fail to include unreached and underdeveloped communities in our solutions? And which best practices at the implementation level serve as examples to promote step change in our relationship with nature?
Thank you very much for that very pointed question, dear moderator, chairperson, excellencies, panelists, and civil society friends. I'm part of the major groups and other stakeholders representing communities discriminated on work and descent. We form over 260 million people across several countries, all in all the continents, and are discriminated specifically on work and descent intergenerationally. And due to our ancestral and social status, we have been made vulnerable due to notions of purity and pollution and forced into forms of slavery and manual labor, even as we are talking today in several of these countries. This form of global apartheid, which has been invisibilized, continues to exist, and therefore we are excluded from economic, social, and political spaces, including access to land. Unfortunately, moderator, the Sustainable Development Goals have yet to address these particular communities and our concerns, especially those that are related to land and its use. SDG 15, in particular, is very vital to the future of our communities. Why? Because our people, including women and children, have been part of the uniquely protecting and cultivating land, and thus uniquely vulnerable to the environmental destruction our world is currently witnessing. Yet, we have been denied the right of access to land in many countries, as well as the support and safety nets that would ensure our survival. Just to share a few examples, this can be seen in the case of Harati communities in Mauritania and in Western Africa, who are forced into work as slaves upon the land and who are suffering from malnutrition as a result of desertification of soil. Families forced to devote all their time and resources to providing themselves can no longer afford education for their children. It can also be seen in the lives of Roma communities across Europe, Romania, and several other countries. Who have been forced to evict and been forced to live in ramshackle shelters on rubbish dumps where they scavenge for plastics and metals to sell. They get sick from the pollution and harmful gases that permeate their homes, and they yet are denied access to basic healthcare as well as homestead land. And it can also be seen in the lives of Dalits, I am one of them, from India, who work as laborers on land, that they are denied ownership and are still bonded laborers to the dominant caste who employ them. Droughts have threatened their livelihoods and left them without food to eat, and yet they have been denied access to community water wells, forcing women to walk long distances to fetch water, enduring harassment, other forms of gender-based violence. Therefore, if we are to truly create a more sustainable world in which no one is left behind, it is critical that these communities discriminated on work and descent become a priority within SDG 15, as the issue of rights to land is deeply embedded within our other vital issues such as food security, education, health, climate justice, and gender violence. Therefore, we urge you to ensure that communities discriminated on work and descent receive special consideration at distinct social group in the country reviews on their SDG performance, and this should be implemented in Europe, Asia, Africa, and where these communities exist. use the findings from these country SDG reviews to identify issues, areas, and inform further action to ensure access to land by the communities discriminated, to ultimately achieve SDG 15, land and its access for all the people who actually protect and cultivate the land. Thank you very much, Margaret.